Hey guys, welcome to Information Management, spring of 2015. This is Matt Marzillo. I'll be your instructor for the semester. And in this video, I just want to quickly touch on the syllabus. I'm not going to read through it. Just going to go over a couple of key points on the syllabus and talk about a few aspects of the class in terms of the way it's organized, what my expectations are for the semester and for homework assignments, and certain things for you to look out for throughout the semester. So you'll see in the first page of the syllabus, it's my name, my contact information. This isn't scrolling. Here we go. It's scrolling now. Sorry. So it's my name, my cell phone number, my email. Your best bet for getting a quick response from me is contacting me on my email. We also have several important dates to remember throughout the semester. Feel free to look those over as you wish, or make sure to look them over sometime the first week. You have spring break, March 23rd. That's obviously an important week for all of us. As we continue to scroll down here, there we go. We go to required text and materials, $40. So there isn't any required text for the course. The reason why we have $40 there is because you do need to have Microsoft Office, right? So we're going to be working in Microsoft Word, a little bit of Microsoft PowerPoint, and a lot of Microsoft Excel. So that's where that $40 comes from. You can easily download it off the Microsoft Office website. I'm sure most of you probably already have it on your machines, and if you don't have it, you can always use the computers at the computer labs at Columbia. Now, one thing that you'll notice is that I operate off of a PC. You'll see all my videos are using a PC with a Windows operating system. And if you're using a MacBook, you might notice some subtle differences, but they're not that large, right? You'll be able to do just fine with a MacBook. There's some differences with pivot tables and mail merges, which we'll get into later on in the semester. But I've already posted some additional content to help you work through that, and it shouldn't be an issue. You can always go to the computer lab and use a PC there, or you can run Microsoft Office on the Windows operating system on a MacBook, and that'll help kind of alleviate any sort of discrepancies that you're having. If you do have any big issues with it, feel free to contact me, and we'll figure out a way to work through it. So that's the required materials. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to bounce to the class site and go over some specifics about the class. Let me go to my notes here. So I touched on the requirements. You'll notice that each week I have a forum board for weekly questions. There we go. The first week is January 25th, so we have a weekly questions discussion forum. So every week you're going to see a weekly questions forum. And obviously it's always okay to email or call me if you have questions, but I encourage you to use that forum board to post your questions. And also feel free to answer your fellow classmates' questions. That's going to help us all learn a little bit better if we're interacting and using that forum board. I'm obviously going to be active on it, answering questions where I can, when I can. So make sure to use that each week. It's important to have that interaction on an online class because we don't have the luxury of seeing each other live on a weekly basis. Also, you'll notice every week kind of has a similar flow to it where you have a video or maybe several videos along with a homework assignment, and about every other week you have a graded forum that you're going to have to complete too. I've done my best with the videos to make them short, right? They're usually not more than 6 minutes or so that if you have to rewatch them, you don't have to rewatch an entire video and scroll through it. They're very easy to digest. There's one asterisk there, is that the first week I ran a little bit long, right? So the first video on Word, I think even at the beginning of the video I say it's only going to take a few minutes, and it winds up taking like 22 minutes. So my bad on that. It's still a good video. You're still going to learn a lot of important stuff in Microsoft Word, but it gets better throughout the semester. The videos become easier to digest. So just bear with me on that first video. Oh, okay. Also, when it comes to questions, whether it's on the forum board or you're asking me via email, my commitment is to get back to you within 24 hours. And the reason I say that, and the reason why it's important to note that, is that your homework assignments and your forums every week are due by Saturday, right? So January 31st is a Saturday. So you have to have your homework submitted, and you have to be done with the discussion board by 11:59 Saturday evening. So if a question arises and you send it to me at noon on Saturday, I'll do my best to get back to you, but there's no guarantees I will. So try to make sure you're watching the videos and you're digesting the content early in the week so that you can ask me your questions on Wednesday or Thursday to make sure that you get a response in time to complete your homework. Since we're on the topic of homework, let's see if go back to the syllabus, which does not want to work for me. The grading policy. So all the homework's due Saturday evening. If you send it to me a day late on Sunday, you're going to lose 2.5 points or 10%. If you send it to me 2 days late on Monday, you'll lose 5 points and 20%. If you send it to me on Tuesday, that's 3 days late, you're going to lose 7.5 points or 30%. After that, don't bother submitting the homework. You're going to get 0 points for the assignment. There's a lot of flexibility with online learning. So if you know you're going to be out of town or you know you have a wedding, work ahead a little bit. Get your homework assignment completed ahead of time so that we don't have to worry about anybody getting points deducted. Obviously, I'm not unreasonable. I understand things come up and there are emergencies. We can handle those on a one-off basis, but I don't expect those happening often, right? So make sure you're getting ahead of the game. Discussion board forums, there's no making up. You have to make sure you're staying on top of those. There's only 7 of them throughout the semester, and they're really, I hate to say this, but they're really not that difficult. As long as you're doing it, you're completing it in full sentences, you're giving some thought to it, there's no reasons that you shouldn't get the full points for that. Scrolling down, the grading scale is similar everywhere in Columbia. You'll see the weight of the assignments, right? So I mentioned every week there's a homework assignment except for the week of the final and the midterm. So those are all worth 25 points. You see week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Week 8's the midterm, then 9 through 14, all worth 25 points. And then we have some graded forums that are scattered throughout the semester. There's one the first week. It's important to note. Those are all worth 25 points as well. So, I mean, these are all, and the forums are especially, as long as you're putting in the work and putting some thought to it, that's an easy, there's 7 of them, so it's 175 points. That's really easy to knock those out. And honestly, the homework assignments are all really easy too. They're I shouldn't say they're easy. They're straightforward. There's no tricks. So you should be knocking all those out of the park. And the midterm and the final are heavily weighted, right? They're 250 points apiece. They're each 25% of your overall total. So those are important. But again, they're going to be straightforward. There's no tricks there. So yeah, as long as you're staying up on the material, you're asking any questions that you have, the midterm and final shouldn't be that hard for you either. This is sort of the general layout of the class. Feel free to look it over as you have time this week. But there's really no tricks here, right? Everything is right there in front of you. So I think I mentioned already that Microsoft Excel is a heavy component of this course. It's something that I've spent a lot of my life using. I think people out there in the professional world use Microsoft Excel a lot. You're probably going to find that you like it a lot more than you thought you did, and that it's a much more powerful resource than you had originally thought coming into this class. You might not love it as much as I do. You might not be as passionate about it as I am, but you're going to grow to like it, and at the very least, you're going to become pretty darn good at it, and you're going to be able to put on your resume that you have intermediate to advanced Microsoft Excel skills, and you know what? That's enough to get you a job out there in the real world, and I think that's pretty cool that me and the other instructors here can say that about this course. So it's definitely an important course to take. So I mentioned the weekly layout. Every week is going to consist of a video, several videos. Sometimes I'll have some additional content like links to articles and things like that you have to read. But I'm not bombarding you with content, right? Everything is going to be efficient so you can learn the materials, get the homework done, and move on to the next week. There are several weeks throughout the semester. There's 3, and I'm getting there right now, where I have case studies. And I haven't posted the case studies yet. But essentially, for the week of March 8th, I'm going to post a video of me working through a problem. And I'm going to ask you to work through a similar problem for homework. So it's a little bit more open-ended. And I intentionally waited a few weeks into the semester, actually 7 weeks into the semester, to do one of those, so you have a good foundation of skills to complete that assignment. So we're going to have 1 week, the week of March 8th, just before the midterm, and then 2 after the midterm. And then I'm going to be posting the midterm shortly in the next few weeks, so you have access to it, and you can review it ahead of time and ask me any questions that you have about it. Okay. I think that's about it. Really quickly, I want to go over what you should be doing the first week. There's 5 things, I believe. I think I'm right about that. The first thing you're going to want to do is read the syllabus, right? So go back over that document. It's only a few pages long. Read through it. Ask me any questions if you have any questions. And also, you're going to post an introduction. So click on this introduction forum and post a quick intro about yourself by clicking add new discussion topic. I already posted something about myself. Nothing huge. Use mine as a template. Just kind of a good way for us to get to know each other and get used to using the forums in Moodle. So that's the second thing you're going to have to do is the introduction. And then you're going to move on to the graded stuff, the stuff for week 1. You're going to watch the video on intermediate Word. Then you're going to do or complete the homework assignment. And then lastly, you're going to, or I shouldn't say lastly, you probably want to get started on this early. You're going to want to post to the forum. So every week, you're going to have to make at least 1 original post and also respond to a classmate. So you got to have 2 posts every week at least to get full credit. But like I said, put some thought to it. Use complete sentences. It's going to be an easy 25 points for those 7 graded forums. Okay, guys, that's all I have right now. As I said, if you have any questions, feel free to post it right here to the first week's weekly question forum or shoot me an email. I'm looking forward to the semester, guys. Thanks a lot.